Well, falls are the leading cause, believe it or not, of accidental deaths nationwide. And nearly half of those fatal falls in the past decade, have been from ladders. So if you see someone fall, would you know exactly what to do? Here to continue our 5 Minutes to Live series, Fox News Medical Aid teams and our friend, Dr. Marc Siegel. He's standing by with a pair of paramedics to teach us what we do in this situation. Dr. Siegel.
Thank you, Ainsley. You know, we've been talking all week about 5 minutes to live. Nobody knows more what that means than our paramedics. Here we have paramedics from the New York City Fire Department, but by the time you get to the hospital, that 5 minutes is long used up. So I want to introduce two heroes of New York today. Rich Alicia over there on the left, paramedics, and Liam Glenane over here on the right. Guys, let's start with a question. If you fall off a ladder, how do you prevent problems with a ladder before they happen?
You know, Doctor, when you think about it, a lot of people shouldn't be on ladders, from pediatric ages all the way up to our seniors. Think about it. Should you be on the ladder to do that home repair? And the ladder you're going to use, the integrity of it. When was the last time somebody actually stood and put their weight on that ladder? A lot of ladders over the years, you know, can deteriorate in dry storage.
Absolutely.
That can be a ladder that can prove fatal to some people.
And you should have a buddy with you on a ladder, too.
Absolutely.
Another thing you pointed out.
Proper footing is a must whenever being elevated off the earth.
Rich, what if you fall off a ladder? And Ainsley talked about head injuries. What do you do? What do you do if you fall off a ladder? Paramedics come. What's the first thing you do as a paramedic when you come on the scene, see somebody that fell off a ladder, maybe hit their head?
I stabilize the patient, and I as well as check their mental status and assess their airway.
Do you do a neurological exam?
I do a quick neurological exam to make sure that they can respond to me and how severe the injury could be.
Do you strap them to the board?
No, we don't strap them to the board in New York City anymore.
Why not?
Because over long-term periods of time in the hospital, you can have a prolonged injury from being on a hard surface.
But you do immobilize their neck.
We do immobilize.
Show me how to do that.
Oh, sure, right this way.
This is our patient today. So he fell off a ladder.
Joseph and Niall.
Right. You fell off the ladder, you hit your head and neck, and you assessed him. Now you're stabilizing him.
And you're not supposed to move them, right?
No, we
wait for you guys to show up?
Exactly. We ask them not to move. We reassure them and we speak. We slide it beneath their chin.
What's the danger of height, Rich? What's the danger of height?
The further you fall from higher, there's a greater chance of you sustaining injuries to your neck, head, and other parts of your body.
What about broken bones? Are you looking for that as well?
During the primary survey, yes, after I've assessed his airway and his mental status, and I check his whole form. I check
How about
both of his
bleeding?
arms. Is bleeding? I would generally see that right off the bat if there was any bleeding.
So if our loved one fell, we leave them there and we call 911.
Well, you call 911, but you stay with them and you reassure them and you make sure they don't move around.
Don't touch them and don't move them.
You can touch them, just don't move them.
Okay.
How about undiscovered injuries, something like the spleen? How do you know if there's something hidden?
During an abdominal assessment, I would be feeling and see if there's pain or even a rigidity to the abdomen. It'd be soft generally.
What if it's a 300-pound man? I mean, can you lift everybody with this board? Show us how you lift somebody.
Oh, sure. Right. You ready on your count?
1, 2.
If they're really heavy, is there a problem with you guys? Are you all trained in lifting any weight?
Yes, we are.
2, 3.
What do you do in the ambulance on the way to the hospital once you got these guys?
We obtain vital signs. We start doing a little bit more of a detailed physical assessment, and we apply more interventions like ice packs, control more bleeding if there is any.
What if there's a cardiac arrest or the patient stops breathing on the way?
We'd immediately start doing CPR and ventilating the patient, as well as applying an AED or a defibrillator and shocking any kind of rhythm we see.
What are most people doing when they fall? Changing light bulbs, putting batteries in smoke detectors? What?
That and so much more. They could be going and cleaning their gutters out or even fixing something, maybe a rattling sound inside of their air conditioner and central heating.
Let's get this guy in the ambulance, guys. Let's see if we can get him to make it. If it's a head injury and they're suddenly having an altered mental status, do you overbreathe them? What do you do to treat them?
I make sure that their airway's paid, and then if they're not responsive and they're they're confused or not speaking to me, then I would begin to ventilate them with a BVM.
Excellent work, guys. And watch out for kids, by the way. Kids fall, too. Kids should not be on ladders. And watch out for a change of behavior with your children if you have a problem after a ladder. And don't go on a ladder if you haven't been on one before, please.
Excellent life-saving advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Siegel. Thank you guys for being here and for the service that you do here in New York.